and I won my novice figure. And then when I go into my open figure, guess who's in my class? Tamara.
Who?
Tamara, who is now going
Barrett?
to the... Huh?
Tamara Barrett?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh.
So I love that story because I remember looking back, and she was obviously she's super tall, but I was like, God bless. Like, I was like, she shouldn't even be in this competition. She's too good. And little did I know that her next, like, she went to a national show and became a pro. So after that, you know, I was like, I'm just going to do one show. Let me just kind of see. And then after that, I was like, I got to get better. I want to do better. I want to look better than, you know, so-and-so. But then I was like, I need to look better just for me and just to see what I can do. My third regional show, one of the judges' feedback was that I had too much muscular density or muscularity for figure. So I don't really understand. I still don't understand that to the day, because when I look at the pro figures today, like obviously their X factor, their shape, they have a lot of muscularity. And so I don't know, maybe they wanted me just to veer more towards physique, which I've had some pretty big name coaches in the past, and they agreed as well that I fit more into physique. And so I did those 3 regional shows. I went to nationals, which that year was in Orlando. So that was 22. And I had dieted for so long that to get my conditioning down, because they kept saying your aesthetics are great, you've got to get your conditioning better. So what happened was, by the time I got to nationals, I had been competing from June, July, all the way until December. And so I had lost some of my like fullness. My density kind of looked, I just depleted myself. But I got third. And when I look at stage shots, I know that I did as best as I could, you know, and especially I was new to the sport. It was my first 6 months competing, and only my 4th show. So I kind of took it with a grain of salt, and I said, okay, I'm going to come back better. And so then 2023, we hired another coach, and I don't really want to say any names. Some coaches you can vibe with, some you don't, you know. My prep was really good. Went to junior nationals, and I got 5th. And so that was kind of like a shot to the pride, you know, because I didn't think I was going to get, I wanted to be top 5. I wanted top 5, but I didn't think I'd get 5th place. And again, it had to come down to the conditioning, and not because I'm biased, but when you look at the pictures, I was like, my aesthetics, not to toot my own horn, but I thought my aesthetics were pretty damn good. But here we are. And then I had been suffering for years with chronic back pain. And I just kept pushing through. I'm a very hard-headed, stubborn, resilient woman. And I had started this whole process, and I was like, well, it's been a year. I want to at least finish this season or do one more show, the junior nationals. And then when I placed 5th, I was like, okay, I'm going to push it back and try my hardest for nationals one more time. And probably midway between junior nationals and the December for nationals, and teaching PE, I'm always on my feet. I was just struggling. My back was, I was doing therapy, going to the chiropractor, getting the shots in my back. I mean, nothing was helping. And I was like, I just can't do it anymore. Even trying to pose, I was in posing practice, and my back it was just chronic pain. So I called off nationals and had spinal fusion in December of 23. And then made a comeback 2024, probably about 8 weeks after surgery. I was back in the gym. Not doing anything crazy, just, light weights, more reps, definitely nothing with my lower body other than walking on the treadmill. I didn't want to push it too hard. And then I did a Texas show in August, and I won 1st place. And then I went on to North Americans which I love North Americans. You're going to love North Americans. It's a great event, very organized, super nice venue. But anyways, I got second or third, one off of the pro. And funny fact here is I'm masters, and so I actually did better in my open division than my masters. Some of those masters women show up; they are on fire. Mm-hmm. So here we are. Haven't competed since.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie with you. Some of these ladies who are, I look at them like I just saw. It's one lady. She's from Hong Kong. She just got her Olympic qualification at Omaha a couple of months ago, and she's 45 years old. I'm looking at her. I say, she can't be 45. She looks like she's 30. And it's one lady.
Yeah.
Her name is Chiro. She's from Japan, and she's going to competing at the Wings of Strength at the Rising Phoenix this weekend.
Okay.
She made her made her debut in WPD, and she switched towards bodybuilding. She's 50, and I thought she was like 30. Because some of those masters ladies, they can really put on some muscle and we do develop. We have here a guest here real quick before we get started here. We have here Marco. We haven't seen Marco in a while. Marco's been a guest before. He says, her and I competed 2 years ago in Texas. If you know, his name is Marco. His last name is Kalia. I think his name is. Marco's been here before. Appreciate you coming through. He might have saw you, but didn't remember him. Yeah. And, I think about bodybuilding. It's a process, and it's good that you did take that time off to take care with your surgery because there's a great bodybuilder who is he's from Texas. That is Mr. Ronnie Coleman. The brother's not in the best shape. He really should have took care of himself a little bit, but you know what? That goal was maybe Mr. Olympia was more important. That's why I think it's always important to take care of your body because you know what? You don't want to be in a situation. So and then only starting, and you're not the only lady who I've interviewed. I've interviewed a lady who started in her bodybuilding in her 50s,
Wow.
And she's right now she's a IFB pro, and I think it's about timing when you feel like you're ready,
Right.
Bodybuilding is a passion for a lot of competitors. Some look as a career, some look as a discipline, but it's also a passion, and it's about timing and circumstances like. Again, you were a single mom. You had a child to take care of. You met your husband, and he probably was a very supportive person in your life, and all things that happened and aligned. And like I said, I was doing a little research and checking you out. And you competed at the National 2022. I know a few ladies that competed at the Nationals. Some didn't get the pro card that year. Some did. One lady who's competing also this weekend is Nicole LaRoe. Y'all both did figure and physique.
Yeah.
And as you know, so her IG monikers Concrete Barbie. And and also
she's awesome. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And also a couple ladies it's a process as you take time to grow as a competitor. For you, what is the thing that feel like could probably help you maybe do better as a bodybuilder?
Well, I think, like you said, timing is everything. And, with my big move, moving from Arkansas to Florida, yes, I'm older and I got started older, but, with this move and I'm retiring from education, I think that I'm going to have more time to actually really zone in and focus more on my diet because, when I was teaching, which I was able to do prep and the eating every 3 hours or whatever. But, you have your partners in education who are bringing cookies and, my diet is I can put any man under the table with eating. And it's kind of embarrassing to say because it's just always been my struggle, food. And so I think, like you said, timing, I think now that I'm not teaching, I have more time to really focus on, eating when my husband eats. He works from home. We prep food together. It's fresh. I can't sneak off to the teacher's lounge and, have the donuts and the cookies. And so he's watching, he's coaching me. So he's on top of my diet. And I'm already doing 2 cardios a day. And so I just think I'm trying to also pay more attention to the ladies I look up to. Not saying that I'll ever be them or at their status, but it gives me goals and it gives me motivation. And watching the videos on their Instagram or, what have you, just knowing it gives me something and some purpose in my life. Since I'm done with the education part, my child's, almost finished with college. And so I really have time to focus on me. And so that's what I'm excited about. So,
yeah, and teachers, we thank our teachers. I know I didn't give them to my teachers too. It was a hard time. We had you were a physical education teacher, PE, so y'all were in the best shape. We had one teacher. One time we had a blood drive at our high school, and our football coach, he nearly fainted from his blood. But the female PE teacher, she got her blood draw. She's out shooting shots on the basketball court. She was she was mean. She about so high, but and I can understand. Like when I used to work in my job, I used to work in textiles, and we have like a big old something for the holidays or a potluck. Something the ladies would bring good food like cookies and cakes and something like that. And as a fat man, it's just so tempting. Yeah,
it's a struggle.
So what got you into teaching? What got you started?
What got me going into the education field? I think when I went off to college, 18 years old, I knew I did not want to be a teacher. Like that was not even in my vision. I actually wanted to be a marine biologist, but I suck at, the hardcore science and math. So when I got into college, I wanted to do athletic training. And, my vision was to be a trainer for like a pro team or, a college team or whatever. Cause, I always knew how to risk management and, injury assessment stuff for athletic injuries, which is my T. And after the first semester, they got rid of that path, that degree. So I switched it to PE and health and didn't really know what I wanted to do or, what it was going to become. But my third semester at college, there was a course that we did with special needs children and blind, deaf, in a wheelchair. So I just started veering off to the adapted PE, helping those kids who are less fortunate than, what we're born with or able to do. And so I developed such a love for just helping any youth. Like even today, like I would go sponsor an athlete if if it comes available. I'm always donating money to kids sports. So I think once I started doing that adapted PE stuff, I was like, okay, I want to teach young children how to be healthy and fit and, learn skills and, endless opportunities. And there we go. I've been in PE health ever since. So.
Well, I say God bless the teachers because you know what? We learned something. Our parents teach us stuff, but y'all the ones teach us the other stuff that we need to know. And that's important, especially dealing with special needs. I got a nephew. His name is Kamarian. He was autistic ever since he was a kid. And my mom took care of him for a good while. And, he was the closest thing I had to having my own child. We used to put him on. I mean, one time my mother was going through a lot. She was going through some stuff. She was sick for a good while. And I always put him on the school bus it was a little van. Came pick him up from the morning. And one day he got off the bus. It was raining that day. And he's jumping into the mud puddles because he liked to watch Peppa Pig. So,
Peppa Pig did that.
Yeah. It's just they're special children. He's about 14 now. It's been a while since I see him, but it's just. I saw a picture of him. His mother sent a picture of him one time. I said, "God, that boy growing so bad." Oh, excuse me. I think fondly of him. Got here shots to my man KL the Wonder coming through. He says, "Good morning. Good morning to you, brother." Also, he says he had a question. I'm gonna put my old band glasses on to read that real quick. He says this. What's the important thing you teach your students about nutrition or staying fit?
let's start with the nutrition aspect of the question. I had always tried to speak to my kids. It had been the world of Takis. All they cared about was Takis and the sweets and, the classroom parties. And so I told them, do you ever see Coach Martin? Because they referred to me as Coach Martin. Do you ever see me eating any sugar? No. Do you ever see me drinking a Coke? No. And I would ask them, well, why not? Why do you think that I'm not eating that? And they're like, because you like to stay healthy and be able to move better. And so trying to teach them facts about what sugar and those harmful things and additives can do to your body over time, and I taught them, I do have sugar every once in a while. You can have it every once in a while, but not eating all the time, every day, and the portions. What was the second question?
Second question, I think he said about fitness, and we put real quick again. Yeah, that was the second question.
The fitness aspect was, I definitely never used activities or exercises as punishment. So I always tried to teach them how to have fun with it, with exercise. Whatever game we were playing, whatever strategies, it was mostly cooperative games. I never taught sports skills. Hey, you have to be good at throwing a football. No, because you have your less athletic kids who they're not going to be able to relate to that. So any kind of game, cooperative game, it was team building skills. It was working together. And then after whatever game we play, a huge group discussion on, okay, so what body movements were we doing? What muscles do you think, you were exercising? And so they would realize everything that they did, what was an activity or an exercise. And so they would go play recess and they would come back and be like, Coach Martin, I worked my quads today playing soccer, And so the main thing was that just trying to teach them facts that can relate to their life. And so they can make choices as they get older. And if they just keep eating junk and not exercising, it's going to be harder for them later down in the road.
Yeah. When I was younger, when I was a much younger man, I used to run around, me and my brothers. We were country kids. We used to jump around barns, run through fields. My older brother, he played football coming up. He was a pretty good guy. He played for a couple of years in college. I played football for a bit, and I played other sports when I was younger. Then you get into the real world, and and life happens, And also the thing with sugar is addictive. It's like any drug. It's like my man from New Jack City, Pookie, says it be calling your name, man. Be calling my name. Especially when you're on prep and you're training, and you have to be consistent with your diet. That's the most important part about that. That's the one thing where I learned from conversation with you ladies, that it's not just what you do in the gym, it's what you do in the kitchen. It's going to be 60% in the kitchen, absolutely, 40% in the gym.
Yep. And that's hard. That was hard for me. I'm I have been in the gym for 6 hours today, and but my protein intake was not up, or I had a muffin, and I'm well, okay, I just ruined that day. So yeah.
You mentioned that you really who do you, like you said again, about who you admire? Who's the person that really sticks out for you as a competitor, that really gets your, you respect their physique, their aesthetics, their hard work, and just their passion? Who's that person that sticks out for you?
I would definitely say Natalia. I met her at the Olympia. Yeah, and I'm not saying Team Natalia over the other team. She is the most humble and respectful. It doesn't matter, your walk of life, where you come from. From what I've seen, she's just very accepting of everyone. She treats everybody the same. She's just very respectful. And her becoming a doctor, and she was, continuing her education. And so I just think that relates to me as well, because she was focused on her bodybuilding, but she was still committed to her education and her continuing her, her degree. And so, and then just meeting her, put the icing on the cake. I also love Ashley from Texas.
Which Ashley? It's like which you mean which Ashley you talking about? Oh, you mean this Ashley?
Yeah. Sometimes I like have all these pictures or these faces in my mind, and I'm like, okay, Brittany, don't get the names confused. But yeah, I met her, and then Ivy Rain, who I don't think she competes anymore.
Yeah, she retired a couple of years ago.
Because I could relate to her because she was older, but I always thought she looked so good, and I thought she would always do better when she was competing in the Olympia, and I just, but I followed her, and I would say Sydney as well. And I watched her on, what's it called?
I think it's supposed to be a show with Mr. Beast.
No,
she was on Survivor. I think that's where she got started.
Survivor. Yes.
She got Survivor. Yeah, that's where she got started.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get older. Your memory.
Well, it's your bodybuilder. You have that prep brain sometimes, and my memory's a little. But wait a minute, what's my name? But
oh my God, I could be looking for my phone and it's in my back pocket.
Yeah, every time I get up and I'd be going to say, why did I come to the kitchen for?
Exactly.
I don't want anything. It's just because I'm going to be 52 in another couple of months.
You're a young chicken.
Yeah, young chicken. Oh God, I've been working since I can remember. My body's not a young chicken. I had 2 bad knees like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I have a pacemaker. I mean, I ain't no. Yeah, I am.
Be careful.
Yeah, I know. I've been like one point was when I think my mom. My mom was sick for a long time. She had several seizures, a stroke, and stuff like that. I was taking care of her, and then at one point, after she died, I went to the doctor, and doctor told me, Miss MacArthur, you are at nearly 500 pounds. And I decided, you know what? I don't have. Well, my mom was my woman. I would say like that. She raised me, my brothers and sisters. There was 6 of us plus grandkids. Wow. And I said that was my woman, and I took care of her. And now it's time for me to take care of me.
Yeah.
And last time I went to my doctor, I was at 420, and then I have insurance where I get assessment every so often. I'm now at around 412.
Well, you're still continuing to do better.
Yeah,
and you're doing something about it.
It's not perfect because you know what, I'm going to fault every now and then. Like again, I do like sweets. I like I like certain things. I mean, but I'm trying to work on it. And with me doing this content, there's so many amazing women that I'm a fan of. I mean, so many ladies have been guests on my channel. Ladies have followed since I've been following bodybuilding for a long time, especially the ladies. And most definitely talk about Sid, and also I love this lady right here that's with her partner, friend, the lovely Miss Andrea Shaw. She is. I remember I got to see her guest pose when my first bodybuilding show in 2022, and that was at Savannah Pro. And it was, she looked great. She was amazing. It was just maybe a few weeks from her doing the Rise of Phoenix that year. But I want to give a shout out to a friend of mine. She's also a competitive bodybuilder. She's co-partners in the company Bad Rap, if you heard of them. Her name is Eunice Martinez Kitchen. I always want to give a shout out to my dear sister Eunice. I went to Tampa last year to hang with her, help her out. It was a great opportunity, her and her partner Jolene. And I always want to give a shout out to Bad Rap. This is a cool hat she gave me. I got another hat. Yes. And this was back in 2023 when they had the Olympia in Orlando. And it's the issue of muscle development. I always want to bring this out because I have my other guy who said this: if you're good at something, Brittany, never do it for free. And this is my payment, And what makes it so special is that I got it right here ready. She signed it.
Oh no! I'm surprised you didn't frame it.
I know I need to, but some nights I sleep with it beside my bed.
Oh my!
It'd be too much if I had to frame. But what it is, I'll bet you do it.
You're fangirling.
I'm a man. I'm not no girl. I'm a man.
Fan man.
Fan man. I'm a man. I'm a man. I'm a man. I mean, one time, sometimes my mom used to sit. My mom would be joking. I said, "Mama, and I'm a man. Mama, and I'm a man." She said, "Nah, you're my baby. I'm a man, Mama. I'm a man."
I ain't no baby.
I'm a man. So anyway, back to the with your surgery. When was it, and how long was your recovery before you went to start competing for North Americans?
So my surgery was December of 23. The recovery was hell. Um, the worst pain I've ever. I have a high pain tolerance, but like trying to sleep, I had to literally sleep sitting up or in a recliner. Couldn't move, couldn't turn. But like I said, after the first week, I was already walking here and there. And they told me no weights, nothing for, weeks and weeks and weeks. And I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. Because I'm too hard headed. So like I said, I was back in the gym after, I think it was 5-6 weeks. I was at least walking, and then I started lifting weights. But my husband was like, well, it's up to you if you want to even attempt another prep. And I said, well, so my surgery was December, and then I competed in August. I'm not sure really when I started the prep. But yeah, I was in prep for probably 4 or 5 months, and then did the Texas in August, and then went to North Americans. And I was actually after North Americans, and I didn't do well. I was like, oh my God, it's like, maybe I just don't have it. Like, I'm done. I'm over it. And I said, well, let's just try for nationals. And I got 4 weeks out from nationals, and I look back at pictures now, and I'm like, why did I pull out? Like, I just canceled everything. I don't know. I was on schedule. Like, I was dropping fat. I was, still leaning out. And I still can't tell you why I called off. So big regret.
Well, sometimes the mind will be, one thing with the body and the mind has to work together. The body might be willing, but the mind might not want to follow.
Yep.
And with this sport, it's a lot of mental factors to it.
Oh.
From, it can be mostly physically, financially, spiritually draining. And there'll be a time where, you know what, maybe I should take a step back for a little bit.
Yeah, and like you said, the timing, I was super busy with school. I coached track, I coached tennis. And so I was just, so much going on at school. And then, but like, it's wonderful because my husband is probably my number one supporter. And being that he was always a competitor, he knows the ugly side of it. And what's funny is we were in prep once together, and I will never do that again, because he's a very calm, patient, and I'm like, nothing is. So when we're in prep, it's like, yeah, we're yin and yang, and we work great together. But in prep, oh Lord, and he can stick to his diet and everything 100%. I'm like, just one little cracker or something.
Like, please, sir, can I have more, sir? Can I please? Yeah, I would think about making a book, because remember the book years ago calls "Men Are for Women Are from Venus, Men Are from Mars." My books would be called "Men Are from Vulcan, Women Are from Klingon." So,
oh Lord,
yeah,
there's the pot there.
Yeah, go please talk, blah blah, their ho. That's what ya their ho saying. That's not logical, but anyway. But anyway, folks. Yeah. I, before I do interviews, I always want to get information on somebody, do research, and I found this video of it. And if you want to check it out, I'll leave the link in the description, and also her other links if you want to check her out too. But guys, be respectful and reach out to the lovely Mrs. Martin. She's a wife. She's a mother. She's a nice lady. I know you guys out there, you love these buff, muscular women, but still, come on, guys, be respectful. So it's a video I found. And we're going to share it with you, and it's something I think she remembers it, and I hope she enjoys it. So here we go, and the video should be up in a sec. Give me here, and here we go. Is what I have to say.
Oh goodness. Well, 14 years now. He did junior nationals. He won junior nationals back in 2006. And I think he got like third at nationals or third in something else. So he like barely missed his pro card, And so after 4 years or 14 years, he finally was like, okay, I'm going to try again, because he saw me and some clients, and because he's a trainer as well. And he's like, I'm just going to have another go. And here we are, 40 weeks later. I could never do a 40-week prep. So I'm very proud of him.
When was the last time you were on stage?
Last time I was on stage was Junior Nationals. Yeah. So in July.
Sorry. Elaborate on that. Let's reminisce on that show. What was that like?
After Nationals last year, I got third, so I was one step away from my pro card. And so I wanted to try again, obviously. So I started a prep for Junior Nationals. We hired a new coach, someone who coaches Olympians. I went in thinking, okay, I have more size, because we did a whole different prep. Conditioning, I thought I was pretty good, but with Junior Nationals, only first place gets their pro card. So when I saw my lineup, I knew right away that I wasn't going to get it. I knew that I had the size, but I think the conditioning was my problem, especially from my legs, my waist down. And so I got fifth, which was, great, because I always want to be first call out. But fifth place, I got a medal, just trying to make a name for myself. And then I said, okay, I'm going to try one more time. I was going to compete here at the Nationals. But with my back pain, I had already pushed off my surgery once. And then I just couldn't hold a pose, and it's not worth the risk. So we're going to go into prep for hopefully North Americans. So
elaborate more on the back pain. A lot of people have back pain. What's going on with you?
Yeah, let's see. 2.5 maybe years ago, I was doing more of CrossFit type workouts with kettlebells, and just I don't really know specifically, but I messed up just my whole lower half of my spine. I have spondylolisthesis, degenerative back, disc disease, no disc between L5, S1. My L4 is protruding into my spinal canal. So it's like chronic pain constantly. I've done physical therapy and chiropractic, and it just progressively gotten worse to where I couldn't pose. I couldn't do any kind of quarter turns. And so I have surgery in 2 weeks, actually. So, yeah.
You're going to be how long recovery from that, or that?
Physique until then. And I think that my package in Texas was one of my best before I had gone to Nationals, because I was a little more full. And when I had made it to the overall, I, obviously couldn't believe it. I had won my class. And so then moving to the overall, because the girl in my class, she had just previously won an overall. And I was like, there's no way in heck I'm beating her. But to my surprise, I think my aesthetics, I persevered. And so into the overall, I'm battling Candace, which Candace and I are, friends, and they called my name, and I was shocked. And so that's always been my best favorite memory of my bodybuilding career or history, is because I won the overall. So that's the only overall I've won. And so that's always going to hold dear to my heart, kind of like where I started. And it kind of just set the grounds for, my future and what I want to do.
Yeah. Well, I had the pleasure of interviewing Candace a while back. She made her pro debut last year. She did the show in Oklahoma. She's a nice lady. She's a beautiful little baby boy. I think he's gonna be 5 this year, I believe. And and what you went through with your surgeries and stuff, that's tough, because a lot of athletes, whenever they have an injury, it takes them a long time to recover. Anything from knee to discs to elbows to anything, neck. I did a good bit of content on women in mixed martial arts, and it's the fighters I know who have to deal with neck injuries. One of my favorites, Tatiana Suarez, she was out for almost 3 years because of neck injuries. Wow. I mean, that's the thing about this sport. Even though it's not as a mainstream sport as football, basketball, baseball, or even some combat sports, injuries is part of the factor of any athlete.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I look back on, I haven't seen that, and it actually makes me very emotional. Like I teared up. I'm still tearing up, just because of everything that I had to go through and overcome. Right, and I feel like it gave me some purpose to come back. I've always been a competitive. I always have to be involved in something. So watching that brought me back a lot of emotions. I used to be a competitive inline speed skater, and I definitely can't do that anymore because you're skating at like 20, 30 miles per hour. So I can't do that anymore. But so I'm like, well, I can still do bodybuilding, which I love bodybuilding. So yeah, but yeah.
Well, I didn't mean to make you cry.
Oh no, it's good. It's a good emotions because it shows me what I went through, how far I've come, and that nothing's gonna keep me from pursuing. And even if I go again and I don't get my pro card, at least I tried.
Yeah, I know quite a few ladies who competed in NBC for a long time, and then they became legends as amateurs. And then some who finally got their pro cards. Some ladies got their pro cards, and that was it. They never competed after.
I see a lot of that, and I'm like, why? Why did you work your arse off to get your card? And I get it. Some of the girls I've been following who got pro cards, all at my national shows, they've been stagnant. I'm like, they may be in a long prep because they want to make their pro debut. I get that, but I'm like, you gotta do something and then I look at the pros and I'm like, even if I get my pro card, I would be pretty nervous to step on a pro stage because I don't know what the heck these judges really want, because some of these physique women, and I'm not going to try to ruffle feathers, but some of them I'm glad are switching to bodybuilding because I don't know. I don't want to be that. I want to be like, big and look good. But I don't want to be like, I don't know. I don't know what the judges are going to want.
Yeah, that's the thing about this, because recently you heard that I met her too while I was in Tampa. Dr. Megan Morrison, she made the move, and I think it was a good move for her because if you are 200 pounds off season, that's not WPD.
That's bad. That's big.
That's
Paula and Sarah. Is it Sarah?
Sarah Bradley. Sarah Bradley.
Paula.
Paula.
Like, still doing physique.
With Paul, I think because I got to meet her when I remember when I met her when she was in Tampa that year, and she that was her second year doing WPD, if I remembered,
physique.
And she it's just a picture I pull up. Then she was still developing. I think she was still. I think she was like maybe 25 then, 26.
Either way, they all look phenomenal, but I was like, they're a little more bodybuilding to me. But then again, like I said, maybe because I'm a rookie, but I'm like, I kind of need to know, because if I'm going to go to physique and get my card, what are going to be the standards once I get my card? Because if I got to be at that level, I mean, I guess I can try. I mean, I would love to just make it as a master's, but trying to compete in opens, it keeps me on my toes. I would love to think that, hey, I can hang with those young girls. I'm almost 45. So,
you still got to wait, because there's ladies who do masters and do open. And some ladies do open and the masters look really good. Some ladies would just exclusively do open. But then I think, we're in the point where you having, younger competitors like Sarah coming in here and Paula, these girls who hadn't even touched 30 yet.
All right.
And they're still growing and developing. I think that could be a good option for you. Like with I think Andrea's going to be 44, 45 this year.
You should know.
I know. I get. But she can. I don't think she ever do masters because
she's getting better and better. I feel
she gets better. She's like one of my favorite characters was Doc Holliday from the movie Tombstone. Says, "No, sir, I'm in my prime," and that's how she is. She's Doc Holliday. The sports is evolving. We see Tyler's announcing where they're going to try to put in more stuff for the figure division, because the girls in figure are getting big. There's one lady who was doing figure. She made the switch up to women's physique. She even took second at Toronto.
Okay.
She did Texas, and she's also doing the Arizona Pro this weekend.
That's another thing. I see some figure girls. I'm like, ooh, they'd be real good in physique.
Yeah, and I think that the thing is that it goes back to comfort. Some get comfortable in the division where they're at.
Yeah,
they feel like if they like, there's always debate. If I go up here, I won't be as feminine anymore. I don't. Yeah. That's an excuse. It's about how your body's growing. If you don't want to go,
you present yourself too.
Yeah.
If you're walking like, because I'm more of a tomboy, but like when I go on stage, I have to like kind of go into like a whole different person. I have to present myself as very confident, because as a female going on stage in a little bikini, and then when I try to figure, I'm like, holy I look like Bambi in heels. Like I wear Nikes on a day-to-day basis. And so they're like, you're going to try to figure. I'm like, do you know how long I had to practice those heels? I mean, the most I have worn heels is like a 2-hour night out. So these girls are, I mean, props to them. But yeah, it's whatever you're comfortable in.
Yeah, so. I see girls in figure can probably do. When physique first started, it was supposed to be a reboot of women's bodybuilding. And then you saw a lot of girls coming from either those divisions, from figure and also from physique, and growing it. But now, I think because the judging, they don't really sit down and say, okay, tell girls get bigger. But you just tell them getting bigger. You're not telling them what they need to work on specifically. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We got some comments here. Give me a second. Let me get these comments out of the way. These guys always want to ask questions. Shout out to I believe his name is Haitik, I believe. Says, good evening, Brittany from Malaysia. With you, Britt. Oh, thank you. Hi. Also, we have here, this is from Fausto. He says, good evening, Fausto from Italy. Wow. Hey,
love Italy.
I mean, I'm getting these guys. Hey, like this. Hey, Britt. When I get a new girl out here, it's like that episode of you ever saw the episode of Chappelle's Show when Charlie Murphy talked about a time when him and Eddie was hanging out and they met Prince?
No, I don't.
It's a classic scene where Charlie was talking about how back then, back in the 80s, the dudes that looked much like a chick was getting all the bitches. Oh. And he talked about how there was a guy named Mickey Free. He was with this group called Shalimar. Remember Shalimar back in the day? And Mickey was a very effeminate looking dude. And people thought Mickey was a female, because the original group was Jodie Watley. She was part of the group as a singer. And they say like this, hey, Shalimar got a new girl. She found some motherfucker. They're acting like you're a new girl. You found some motherfucker. They get excited. But it's the evolution of everything. Like if you know now, there has a new division now in the bodybuilding world. It's called Fitball. Excuse me. Ha! I feel like this. I have nothing against it, because I met a young lady back in Tampa who does fit model. She's a cool lady. I met her. And I interviewed a fit model before, but there's no real point for it, because after a while, it's a great division when you want to start out. It's a good a true novice division as you evolve.
And then move somewhere else.
Yeah, and then in the IFBB, you can't, as I say, we do compete in fit model, we can't do any other divisions. But after a while, when you go up to the IFBB, those same girls are eventually going to want to grow and move up. You're seeing right now girls bikini going down to fit model, and they bring those same aesthetics. There's girls who have shoulders and belts just as big as girls in figure. There's one woman in wellness I follow. She could do women's bodybuilding if she wanted to. Just take the time to grow her upper body and her shoulders. I mean,
I've seen bikini, and I'm like, or people in figure, and I'm like, you need to go back down to a bikini. And I'm like, not trying to talk smack. I'm just like, who are your coaches, or who's putting you in these divisions? Because I'm like, and I'm not saying I know everything, but I'm like, surely they've studied that class, and they're like, do I look like that, or do I fit there? And I would think based on you as a person, and I don't know, I guess like you said, it's whatever they're comfortable in, but you kind of have to go where you're going to do your best, you know what I mean? And challenge yourself. But like, if people are always changing, or you're always growing, like I couldn't stay the same. I don't want to like stay the same. Not meaning you have to grow muscle, but you have to evolve and tweak certain areas of your body. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. Yeah, just because this content, I really learned from someone when I do information with you ladies. We share with your thoughts. And you don't have to be a newbie. You just have your perspective, what you see, what you understand. But like I said, I've been following bodybuilding for a little over 40 years. I grew up in the era where Arnold was a superstar, Lee Haney and them, and then y'all women. Y'all kind of changed my perspective of it. You know what
It
I
has
mean?
changed so much over the years.
Yeah. It's just one of my crimes. I have to admit to you, Brittany. I have a muscle pair small. Y'all ladies excite me. Your muscles. I try to. Doing this content, I learned how to keep that calm. But from what I learned from the work, the effort I put in, and again, people look at this. There's a bunch of these. Y'all just a bunch of people walk around halfway butt naked on a stage wearing high heels, booty shorts, and guys in pair of banana hammocks and board shorts. Mm-hmm. But again, people don't understand.
Well, they're wearing thongs now too, by the way.
Yeah. Depending what kind of federation, you gotta be careful. But don't say the work that you got put into training. And then when you look at bodybuilding, it's always going to get that stink eye because the use of performance enhancers, the use of growth, stuff. But that's only part of helping you in recovery, or helping you. If you don't train, you don't diet, you don't stick to a plan, you're not going to develop as you want to. You can take the same stuff that a competitor takes, but if you don't have a plan, you don't have good nutrition, you're not going to look like the Andrea Shaws, the Tarek Wayhos, the Derek Lungfords, the Samson Duas, whoever is in the top in their game.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you kind of have to, if you're gonna get into bodybuilding, and depending on how far you want to go, there's things you may have to do to enhance yourself, or I mean, that's personal choice. You just got to do your research and have a good coach that is going to make those choices.
There's natural bodybuilders. We started build up in the NPC IVB now, but it takes a lot longer. It might take you maybe 60. It might take you 6 weeks to put on, just a pound as a natural competitor, but you can put on maybe 16 in that 6 weeks as an enhanced competitor. Right. Well, we'll go back into one thing we'll do is while we're here, because we did the little video, we're going to jump into Britt's social media for a little bit. You want to follow again, the link's in the description. You want to check her out, support her in her plans on any future bodybuilding endeavors. And I like this picture. Some of the pictures you sent me, I said, wow, who's the photographer in this one?
Yeah, wow. We had a great Gary. That was right after my first nationals as well.
Wow, he did a good job. I mean, yeah. Man, I'm gonna tell you something. Yeah, you are a pretty woman.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and here she is again. I mean, you really have improved over time. I mean, you're developing great width in your back, good round at your shoulder. What do you feel like the thing you need to work on the most, and what do you think is your best feature?
What I need to work on most, obviously, is conditioning. But I struggle with the size of my legs. My upper body is more powerful, I think, and what I've been told. But like I said, because of my back, it's so hard for me to obtain any more leg size. I can do certain things, but it's just my legs. Skating gave me the legs and the glutes, but my strongest, I think, is probably my back for sure. Even in my nationals video, I have a nationals video posted on my Instagram, and the commentators were actually talking about my back and said that it was lights out. And I'm like, yeah, but I got third. Oh, look, that's me.
Well, I also heard that the back could make or break how you do at these shows.
Yeah.
Your conditioning shape. Yeah, here she is with my man David. He has his hand on one of my other girls. He was his girl at the time, but now you're my girl. So yeah. I got a problem with you, David, man. I keep telling you about touching my women, but but it's how he saw you first. But I got you now. So
hey, he's very persistent. He is.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
He's awesome. Yes, he's very nice. And I walk by and he's like, Brittany.
And here she is. And who's this lovely young lady?
That is my child, who goes by Ren. And so their actually birthday is today. So 20 years old. Yeah. So 20 years ago, I gave birth to that child.
Well, just say just as pretty as the mama.
Yeah. She's a looker.
Yeah. And this is your dear husband. He's also was a bodybuilder for a good while.
That's Chad. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's still competing.
He is not. He says he's retired. He also has a lot of injuries he's been dealing with. That's a funny video from when I first arrived in Florida, because my husband had to move first and I had to finish teaching. And so I didn't see the animals or my husband for 12 weeks. Yeah, so that was my homecoming when I literally just walked in.
Your animals are like children. Once you see you, they love you to the death, And and here she is, with basketball. What was when you were playing? What was your favorite sport? Especially when you were at the school.
I love soccer and softball. That is my shelter. We teach PE nowadays in tornado shelters that are with our elementary schools. But coaching, I can coach probably any sport. But yeah, I love traveling. That was London. I have still quite a few places on my bucket list. I've been to Italy, Switzerland, Paris, so I've got some more places, but I don't know. I've got to figure out this prep and my next show and be like, okay, here's where I'm going to have a break. I'm going to go travel some more.
Yeah. Well, I've been to Florida 3 times, been to Georgia a couple of times, been to Virginia, and now I'm going to Pittsburgh. I mean, I'm not ready to be on a plane just yet and go overseas across that water. Like I said, I'm a poor country boy. Yeah,
it's a long trip. That was my announcement to retire.
I have a very special video I want you to watch. Are you ready? Let's go.
11 years ago, I walked into Sunnymead for the very first time. And for 11 years, Sunnymead has been my second home. But I have to tell you a secret. This is my last year to be your PE teacher. It's time for me to start a new chapter in my life. I'm so sad that I won't be here next year. But I'm so proud of each and every one of you. We didn't just become stronger or faster. We became more kind, more brave, and more confident. And getting to watch you do all that has been the best part of being your PE teacher. Every single one of you has been a part of something so special. I will miss giving you all of her time about wearing those Crocs. I will miss y'all asking me, what are we doing today? But mostly, I will miss all of you. We have almost 3 weeks together left, so let's make the most of it. Have some fun. This isn't goodbye. I'll see you later, alligator. Martin.
I feel like Walter Waters. I want to cry. I feel like Walter Waters. I want to make you cry.
Yeah, that pulled the heartstrings.
Oh. Yeah. I feel like you're like, call me Barbara Waters. What was that feeling for you, Coach Martin, leaving your school and leaving your students?
It was so hard. Like even now, it's so hard to see all my friends and my teachers, and I'm friends with a lot of my kids or my students' parents on Facebook, and just seeing them all post first day school outfits, and I'm like, meh. And they send me their pictures, and we miss seeing you. It's been really tough because it's a huge life change. Like, that's all I knew.
Make you cry for me, please.
I need to blow my nose.
Go ahead, give yourself. We'll give you a moment. We'll let them cry out for folks here. Yeah, because
it's fine.
I understand. It's hard to make change, but that's the thing about bodybuilding. Change is a big part of it. You have to learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, doing something that's maybe out of your comfort zone. For like myself, when I went to my first body show in Savannah, I went by myself. I never went anywhere by myself. Or if I went anywhere, it was like when we went to Disney World twice with my family. When we went to Virginia with my family. When somewhere with my family. But I went someplace by myself, on my own, a grown man, and it was something different. Now I'm a grown man living on my own now.
Yeah.
And it was like I said, like I grew up in a house with me, my brothers and sisters, and then for a while it was me, my brother, my nephews, my mom, and then it was me and my mom, and then my brother come back for a while, my nephews came back for a while, and then when she was gone, then one of my brothers stayed for a little bit, and then he got his stuff together, and now it's me. It can be hard to when something you consider normal, but then that's the thing about life. It's unpredictable. It's like why do my lives? So sometimes my lives stuff will happen. And that's why I like doing lives because I like to get that pure natural reaction, like just see what's people's thoughts and feelings. That's why I enjoy doing what I do to get the aspects to talk about